months ago, I ended the longest relationship I've ever been in. Oh my God. I've been a part of the STEEZY team since its founding in 2014. That's 9 years. It's a really long and really precious chapter of my life, so I want to honor it by walking down memory lane. Part 1. So my journey started when Evan and Connor launched STEEZY as a blog in 2014. And I didn't even know them at the time, okay? I just sent a cold email saying,
"Hey, my name's Jessie, and I want to write for your blog."
So at this point in my life, I had just graduated from college and I was still living in San Diego, working at a boba shop, and I was dancing on a company called 220. And before college, I'd been a part of the dance community since I was in middle school. I was training at Quest Learning Center and doing Team Millennia summer intensives. If you know, you know. I used to write about love and loss and heartbreak and redemption. I was your classic Tumblr girly. I also wrote about dance and school and feeling lost after graduation and trying to find your own path, all of that. So when I saw STEEZY, I was like, ooh, if anyone's gonna write about dance, it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be me.
After I wrote a few posts, I pretty much just kept bothering them. I was like,
"Hey, I wrote another post," or "What do you think of this idea?" or "We should work with this dancer."
and after a few months, they asked me to manage the blog. And that's basically how I became STEEZY's employee #1 and editor-in-chief. So I'm writing different kinds of content. We have relatable lifestyle posts about being a dancer, interviewing dancers, history of dance styles, dance teams, and of course, writing your educational how-to tips for becoming a better dancer. It was this last category that got readers emailing us saying,
"Hey, these tips are super helpful, but I wish I could just do that in practice."
and we were like, oh, then you should go take dance classes. And they were like,
"What dance classes?"
Our readers were from all over the world where they didn't have the same classes and resources that we had in LA and Orange County. And we thought, wouldn't it be so great if everyone in the world had access to the same classes as we do? Fast forward, and in 2015, we launched STEEZY Studio's online dance classes. Part 2, creating with Clay. At some point during all of that, Clay had reached out saying,
"Hey, I'm a dancer and I make videos and I want to make videos about dance."
and that completed the first 4. Clay and I started taking the ideas that I wrote in the blog and turning them into YouTube videos. We made funny skits with our dance friends and even got vulnerable and shared our personal stories as dancers. YouTube was really special to me because as a writer, all I had were words. And as powerful as words are, you're still hoping that you have somebody's attention and that they're understanding it in the way that you're trying to explain it. Now with YouTube, I could be more sure with my delivery, my voice, my gestures, and the visual cues and the magic of editing that people could better understand what's going on in here. We later expanded the programming on YouTube to series like 3 choreographers, 1 song, and dancers react, and this versus that, reverse choreo, freestyle games, to name a few. If you're assuming, wow, that must have been so fun coming up with these videos, you're absolutely right. It was a blast, especially because in mass media, dance is often seen behind a singer, literally backup dancing. So dance and dancers are super misunderstood and undersupported, but on our YouTube channel, dance was the thing that was driving the plot of each of these videos. And we got to showcase a lot more depth and information and styles and nuances, all in really fun ways too. So we basically tricked you into learning. I have to mention this was all before we got our office space in downtown LA. So all the classes were being shot at different studios around LA, and all the other work was actually being done out of our parents' houses. We did eventually get our first office space in 2017. It was super tiny and we had to build these fake walls and use these fake mirrors to make it look like it was an actual studio. But none of this mattered because we finally had a space to call our own, and I'll never forget how proud and excited I felt. Part 3. Designing an experience. So we're making YouTube videos and lots more people are taking STEEZY Studio classes. And in particular, we get beginner dancers who are like,
"Hey, this stuff is really cool looking, but I've been doing this for 3 freaking days."
Anyway, they're brand new to dance and they're saying that they need more basics and foundation classes. So we started developing these beginner curriculums in different street styles: hip hop, popping, house, krump, breaking, and later even styles like ballet, contemporary, and jazz. So I started dancing just by doing choreography, which doesn't specify that it's from any style. Choreography just means that someone made it ahead of time, and so you're watching it, learning it, and then performing it. So it could be from multiple different styles. It's a remix. It could even be drawn from abstract concepts or really whatever matches the music, right? It's really the choreographer's choice. But with a specific dance style or dance form, there is a technique, there are foundational movements, there is a history and a culture and people behind those moves. So in the process of developing the curriculums for these programs, I got to learn about every culture as a guest. And this time, my job wasn't to be the writer, it was to be a translator, because all the information was already there, right? I just had to help make it accessible to beginner dancers. I also developed a program called Intro to Dance, which is for absolutely new dancers. I probably felt the most fulfillment from this program because all the people that would say,
No, I could never dance.
or
I have 2 left feet.
I would literally watch their progress videos, and they would go from the first lesson where you learn to just find the rhythm and bob your head to the beat to the very last class where they're doing full-on beginner combos. And throughout their progress, I could just watch their confidence blossoming. It's the way that their bodies would get more relaxed and they're more open and their face is less tense and they're actually smiling and enjoying dancing. So I think I had roughly 3 phases as a content creator. So 1, I was writing my own material. 2, I translated other people's information. And now 3, where I'm taking information from multiple sources, including different dance teachers and my own knowledge, and actually testing it with different users and then fixing it some more, and then producing the final product. I loved being able to be both creative and a little scientific, and ultimately make something that's really useful for people. And I remember what it feels like to just wish that somebody could explain it to me in a way that actually made sense to my body. So I'm happy that I got to do that for some people. Part 4, leading the content. Sometime after that, my role went into its next phase in its evolution as the director of content, where I oversaw the whole content department, which developed and produced all the content across marketing and the app. Say content again. Say it one more time, Jessie. I really struggled here as a people manager. I think I missed the creativity and also felt this weird imposter syndrome or guilt for being so far from the creative process. It took me some time, but I realized that this is the job and it has its own art too. To create strategies, to meet with partners and articulate well, to make really hard decisions, to coach and support the team when you yourself need coaching and support, and to communicate some more and over communicate if needed, all day, every day, up, down, left, right. But I was so lucky because everyone I worked with was just great. Like so smart, driven, talented, passionate, fun, and I genuinely cared and still care about them as colleagues and as people. When it comes to your work, I think yes, you should align with a mission because you don't want to be doing anything that you don't believe in, right? But ultimately, what determines how much you enjoy your day-to-day is just the people around you. And I was lucky to be surrounded with the best people, salt of the earth. And lastly, part 5, moving on. Clearly, this wasn't just a job to me. It's my baby. It's something that I grew and I grew with. So many people know me as Jessie from STEEZY, and I actually loved that identity for a while. It felt like no matter where the story would go, my character was still stuck in the same chapter that it started 9 years ago. But what I still do identify with and cherish and want to carry with me into my next chapter is my relationships with all of you. Because the Jessie before STEEZY was this goofy, hardworking girl who loved the dance community, and the Jessie after STEEZY is all of that and so much more. So in conclusion, thank you so much for having me be a part of your journey in whatever shape or form or degree, and thank you for being a part of mine. Thank you to everyone I got to work with over the years, my teammates, our instructors, our partners, our building manager, Jose, our baristas. Thank you all for making my journey so much sweeter. Well, that's that, and I'm jumping into my next adventure, and I want to stay connected with you, specifically you. So whether you're a dancer or a teacher or a fan, or you just stumbled on this video, I personally want to take the time to get to know you. So if you click the link in the description box, there's going to be a little calendar where we can schedule a talk. And I hope you subscribe to this channel and find me on Instagram, because those are the main ways that I'm going to be communicating. All right, I'll see you soon.